just a quick introduction for those that don't know. We have 2 visitor centers. People call, people text, people put on Facebook. They ask us all sorts of questions. I have this wonderful staff of volunteers that can answer it. You're going to help in the section we call We Get Questions.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good luck with that.
You haven't seen these?
No, I have not seen these.
But you've lived in the North Bay a long time.
I've lived in Santa Rosa since '91.
All right. Yeah. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Ready?
No, not even a little bit.
This one's easy then. Here's a softball for you.
Okay.
And we got this one from someone who was on Facebook asking, because they're planning on coming at this time. What's the weather like in December?
What is the weather like in December? It varies, honestly. Last year was rainy all winter long, but plenty of Decembers before that. It was dry and a little bit cool, but not like frigid. Right. I'd say low 50s, high 40s.
Yeah, when you say cool, let's put that into context.
Right.
If you're from Chicago,
it's warm.
Yeah,
it's a December. It's a warm December.
It's a warm December.
Yeah, it's it pretty, at nighttime it might get down to or close to freezing, but it's
okay.
Broadly speaking, it's, at least in the last 6-7 years, it's mostly been dry.
I'm right now, I'm doing what I would do at the visitor center while you talk. I'm Googling it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's Sonoma average temp December. And let's see. Because I think you're right.
Yeah.
You are really good.
I was just guessing.
Average is like 60 or 58 to 60. Low is 37.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Sounds about right.
That's
fine.
So all you really need is a light jacket, right, if you want. And
it's t-shirt weather for some people.
It is t-shirt weather. And if that's the average, because we had plenty of days where it's like 65.
For sure.
I've been out hanging Christmas lights sweating.
Yeah,
right?
I have too.
And then other times it's a little chill, but it's like you put a sweater on and it's nice. You get the fire going.
Yeah, it all depends on where you're from too, right? It reminds me of a story when I worked at Sterling. I don't know if you've ever been to Sterling in Calistoga, but they have this big sort of deck that overlooks the valley southbound, and there were days when it was 110 degrees, and you'd walk out there and you'd see people, and we're just like, why are you out here? Well, I'm from Oklahoma, and this is nothing. It's dry heat. It's like, well, it's really, you're not getting any service from me today out here.
I know. I'll be inside. Come on and ask me. Here's some water, sir. You
yeah,
need
exactly.
That. All right, good. So we know in December, and I should say that, our winters, we are a Mediterranean climate, so usually the only time we get any kind of precipitation, it usually only falls in the form of rain, is really November, December, January, February, March, and then kind of tapers off.
Yeah.
Last year was an extraordinary year.
Last year was unusual, I'd say, for sure.
5 years before that, wow.
Not drought.
Yeah.
No rain, basically.
No rain.
Yeah.
Bad for Tahoe, but good for us.
Yeah, but I think you have it nailed right. It doesn't really start raining until mid-November if it's going to rain at all, and by the time we're into mid-March, it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one we got. People ask us about Glen Ellen. You know Glen Ellen.
A little bit. Know I've been there working for 3 whole months. So
here's the question: is Glen Ellen a village, a hamlet, a townlet, or an outpost?
I'd say it's a village.
It's a village. All right.
Yes.
It is a village.
It is a village. Although when you drive into town, someone has the sign that says Glen Ellen, someone has put a paper, whatever it said underneath it now says town.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. I think it said city of Glen Ellen or town of Glen Ellen or something. Yeah, someone.
I'm not sure. Someone did some midnight,
I love that.
Maintenance.
Well, there's also someone, you have a local mascot called the Glen Alien.
I did not.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen this? Oh, yeah. So the Glen Alien is an alien who encourages people to slow down. And so if you look at some of the signs, there's this green alien, like a spaceship-looking guy, saying, slow down, the Glen Alien. So, yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that guy, frankly. I commute into that town, that village.
You go over the
5
back
days
through
a
Bennett
week?
Valley? You go
No,
back?
I mean, sometimes I do, but usually I just come down Highway 12. So
Right.
that guy's going to get me at some point.
He's going to find you.
I guess.
The Glen Alien's going to find you.
Yeah.
We actually already answered this one, which is what is a vertical tasting? And
Yeah.
you stated, what I remember.
Yeah, different vintages, same wine, basically. In our case, it's the same vineyard, but
Same vineyard.
Any other, if it's a reserve Cabernet from X winery, it's always different vintages, same wine.
Is there a horizontal tasting?
There probably is, but it's not a term you hear.
No?
I have never heard that term.
And no diagonal tasting.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you do.
We better
right?
talk to a geometry teacher.
Horizontal tasting is what we really do in tasting rooms, right?
Yeah,
So next week we have our wine club pickup party for our club members, and we're pouring 3 19s from different vineyards.
So that would be a horizontal tasting.
We just don't call it that.
I like that. Thank you.
Okay, we're
good.
gonna,
New trend.
Okay, you make sure you lock that term down.
I'm going to hurry up and reserve that URL right
exactly.
now. Okay. Hello. We're looking for a good place for a quiet meal. We don't like loud places.
A quiet meal.
Quiet meal. What's a quiet place? Or what's that movie? A Quiet Place?
Yeah, we don't want that.
That's terrifying.
Quiet meal.
A quiet meal. Where do you just quiet?
In what? Yeah. Where?
Open. Yeah, I mean, a good place for a quiet meal.
It's not really my style, so it's like
No, you're just like one of those.
I need some noise. Yeah.
Will you pass the pasta, Mom?
No, maybe not that bad. Like I'm not talking about TGI
Yeah,
Fridays.
so some well, here's one I know. Layla is at MacArthur Place, and they have a private room, and it's. I mean, Layla itself is quiet. There's an outdoor patio that can be quiet, but they also have a private dining area you can reserve that can be quiet.
Right. What about the place that Stone Edge Farm opened in downtown Sonoma?
Edge. They call it. It's going under. That's a classic place. It'll be very quiet and refined. And you could not yell, "Pass the pasta, Mom!" No, you could not do that. And I think that's a great one. I think they're doing some renovations right now, but it can be quiet, so that's another good spot. Sante at the Fairmont has like that kind of quiet aspect.
Yeah.
I think any of your finer dining places will be quiet.
Most of those. I mean, there's Glen Ellen Star, though it is Michelin rated, is not that. It's pretty.
No, it's a raucous fun time.
Yeah, it's a raucous fun time.
I mean, the kitchen's open. You can see them right there.
You can.
Areas like slinging pizzas, or I've seen them take Dungeness crab out of that thing, and all sorts of crazy places. So.
Yeah, so that's a great place to get into if you can get into it, but it's not quiet.
It's not quiet. Okay, that's good. But I think so look for the higher end places. Usually in restaurants, will be a little bit quieter. And I might say Cafe La Haye, it can be. Well, there's a lot of people in there in Sonoma because it's a small spot right here off the plaza, but it can be quiet too because it's like more subdued. It's not like a party scene or something like that. We don't need DJs in restaurants. What was going on?
I mean, even Salt and Stone on Highway 12 is more subdued in that way. It's a bigger spot, and they have a bar eating area that's not so quiet, but the restaurant itself is pretty. Yeah.
There's something to be said for quiet meals. You know,
there is.
It's like we've had silent discos. Why not the silent meal? We're sitting there eating by ourselves. Like we're bringing back, the Hungry Man TV dinner.
Okay.
By yourself, just being quiet, just silent.
I'm okay with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
We'll pair it with some wine. Yeah. This is a hot take. Ready? Children at wine tastings, yes or no?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I used to say when I was taking more reservations than I do now, I used to say, your kids are fine as long as they're on a leash, and I said that facetiously because you say that about dogs all the time, right?
Of course.
And so I said that in the sense that what I mean by that is you don't have to physically be on a leash, but they can't be running around disrupting.
But what
people.
happened? Did anyone bring their kid on a leash?
No.
I do have children. They're older now.
Yeah, same.
At first time you see a kid on a leash, you're like, that's a horrible idea. Until you have your own 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And you're like, that man's a genius.
Yeah. No, I always said it, and then I sort of qualified it and said, as long as they're not running around disrupting other people's tastings, it's fine,
Right. Okay.
Keep them close. And I will say this though, depending on the age of the kid, they tend to get pretty bored.
Yeah.
We used to, when I worked for a year at Sterling in the Tasting before I moved into wine club management, and that place was it's got a gondola that goes up to the top. So back then, when it was $5 to get in, that was the bone that people threw their kids. They would say, hey, if you're good all day,
we can go on the gondola.
We'll go on the gondola.
Where did that gondola go?
It's still there.
Just went up the hill though, right?
It goes up the hill and then comes back down. That's how you access the tasting room.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, unless you're scared of heights, they'll take you up in the van. It's true.
How far is it above the ground in the gondola?
Yeah, and it's nothing like, it's just like being at a ski resort.
Ski resort? Okay. Yeah. But that's snow underneath it at a ski resort.
This is true.
Yeah, it's
not
like
rocks.
It's like the rock. Yeah, it's like volcanic schist.
Yeah, exactly.
I said schist. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Final question.
Okay.
When will the leaves start changing in the vineyards?
Now they have.
Okay.
They're dropping now.
Okay, you've seen that.
Yeah, so they're. I was telling you about how we're doing some filming for the winery, and we got very little footage of vineyards with green leaves, even when the grapes were still on the vine. This was a very unusual year in terms of timing from a harvest perspective, but the grapes ripened and the leaves were already almost
it goes
fall
fast.
colors, and then they were off.
Yeah, I've been watching it on the drive up by Kenwood. The left-hand side where the white barn is, and it's perfect. I'm just driving, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, it's all turned red all of a sudden, and it's quick. And I think once the plant throws off the grapes, it knows the time. No more energy needed. Let's go to dormancy.
Completely.
So get ready for it. But we have it roughly runs in a usual year, mid-October to kind of like end of November, depending on the varietal, which is very interesting. The different types of grapes will turn at different times, but you get this neat tapestry. And as you drive north from Glen Ellen at Cundy Winery, they have this beautiful hill, right?
And you used to work there?
Oh, you did? Okay. And so when the sun is setting, it hits it just perfectly. It's like a quilt
it really does.
up against there. And that's just a beautiful way to do it. Further south in the Carneros region, up at Vianza or Jacuzzi or Gloria Ferrer, it goes down towards the bay.
Yeah.
And that's also another beautiful place to see the colors.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, this year was really accelerated, but it tends to be it doesn't mirror like fall in other regions, but it's got a pretty lengthy.
It's a different type of thing.
Pretty nice,
we're not
nice
like
runway.
New England, where all of a sudden it's all maple syrup and cold and hot cocoa,
right?
And
But
cider.
it's beautiful, and if you catch it, like you said, if you catch it at the right time when there's all these different colors and shades, and some vineyards are still green and some are yellow and some are bare, And then it's pretty interesting.
It is nice, and then it starts turning green underneath when the cover crop comes out. But that's a whole other story.
It is.